Page Likutei Torah Behar, page 82, second column, 15 lines down. Okay, we learned the next few lines, but anyway. The Rebbe is explaining that shame, the concept of a name, is only a very slight thought. It has nothing to do with the essence. And therefore, the neshama, before it came down, at that level of elokus, the neshama doesn't have a name, because it's higher than the concept of a name. It's not limited in any way whatsoever. What connects the neshama to the world, to the body, is the level of shame. The same thing, what connects Hashem to the world is when you have the 7 names of Hashem, which represents the 7 midas of creation. Okay, class is sponsored by Avram Maradian in honor of the 4 Shlema for everybody. The name is nothing compared to Atmis or Ka'ayin. Nechshavin is considered nothing. And that's what it says. No, until we learned this. One minute. Okay, go down another 8 lines. So he says, that's why Hashem created the whole world. Shammais ba'aretz. Don't read it Shammais desolate. Read it names. That one that Hashem give names when it came into the aretz. This is what we say in davening. Be'er Kadeshim, Hashem created Kadeshim. Yishtabach Shimcha, and then this is what we say in davening, right before Shema. Be'er Kadeshim is Barach Shimcha. Yishtabach Shimcha. All the elevations of Kadeshim in every day is only Shimcha. Is only in the level of name, then you have elevations. Because where do you have different levels? In the essence, there's no levels. There's only essence. Where do you have different levels? In the level of name. Which is the level of Bria Yesh Mi'ayin. Okay, so now he says like this. Chochma comes from ayin. That's what the pasuk says. Chochma ma'ayin timatzi. Which means, the creation, the existence of Chochma, which is Reishis Ishtalshus, which is the beginning of the chain of the world's main Tzav Baruch Hu, Einek Meishtalshim and Shemichocha Lamata. The Rebbe is explaining like this. The pasuk says, Chochma ma'ayin timatzi. That means Chochma is basically Yesh mi'ayin. That's what the pasuk says. Chochma comes from ayin. He says that's different than from Chochma downwards. The world, the 10 levels begin from Chochma. So then it's Chochma into Bina, into Das, into Chesed. That's all Ila v'Olu, cause and effect. They're all relatively on the same level, a little higher, a little lower. But Chochma, from higher than Chochma, that comes from Ma'ayin Timotzi. There's no Hishtalshalis higher than Chochma. Just by a marshal of a person. A person has seichel, midas, intellect, emotions, and machshava dibur ma'isa. It's a chain, one from the next. Seichel atzmei nimshach mislabish b'machshava. Seichel comes into machshava. Midas come into machshava. Machshava is not seichel. Machshava is thought. Let me ask you, can you think stupid things?
All the time.
Okay, so machshava can't be seichel. Seichel is intellect. Thought, it reveals seichel. It can reveal a midah. It can reveal stupidity also. Okay, but machshava is not seichel. B'chein machshava b'diba says seichel midas. That's all called ishtalshalis, ila v'olu, cause and effect, which is yesh miyesh. Seichel creates midas, or stimulates midas. Midas stimulate machshava dibur amaisa. So it's all yesh miyesh. Midas come from seichel, machshava dibur amaisa come from midas and seichel. It's all yesh miyesh. V'le yesh miyayin. Ki ha'ila, because the cause, atma, nitfases and mislabeshes ba'olu. Cause comes into the effect. The effect is based on the cause. If seichel stimulates feelings, based on your intellect, that's what type of feelings you are. A child who's immature has immature midos. He wants stupid little things. What?
Is Ein related to Enso?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Now it's not the real, everything's relative. You know what I mean?
Enso.
Das ist cause mitlabesh effect.
Every cause goes into the effect.
No, go mitlabesh levushim.
That's what it says. Nitfeses u'mislabeshes ba'olu.
So the cause is the levush for the effect.
No, it's the levush. It dresses into the cause, the effect. If anything, the effect is a garment for the cause.
Right,
That's what he said. Mislabeshes ba'olu dresses itself into the olive.
What's an example of cause and effect?
Intellect and midas. Intellect stimulates feelings. I think into something, how nice it is, how good it tastes, I want it. I think how strong and scary it is, I get scared. From Atzilus of Chochmah Lamata, like it says in Zayim Parshas Bereishis. And that's what it says, simply it means Hashem made everything b'chochmah. Because Bereishis bar Elikim, Bereishis created everything, and Targum on Bereishis says b'chochmasa. With chochmah Hashem created the world. Shekol is Havis Nimshchu Mehelim Legilui. All creations come from Mehelim to Gilui. From the level of Machochma, Shabbatchila Yeklulim Yachad Bechinas Chochma. Like it says in the Medrash, when Hashem created the world, Bidvar Hashem Shemaim Nasu. The Medrash says, when Hashem said, Bereishis bar Elikim es Shemaim es haaretz, everything in the world was created. Everything. Everything was created on the first day. Then Hashem put the sun and the moon. On the fourth day, He hung it up in the sky. Vegetation became on the second day. Third day. Whatever it was. This maimer echad. Shaber yachal hi baris. Like it says, Alei b'maimer echad yachal hi baris. The Mishnah in the 5th parak of Pirkei says, Asar maimaris nivra elam. And then it says, Alei b'maimer echad. Hashem could have created the world with one utterance. Why did He make 10? V'chein ulamate gamke. Sh'ol b'tzein elivra elam b'machshava echad. When Hashem decided to create the worlds b'machshava, I'll explain in a second, nivro kol ha'olam b'derech cloud. All the worlds were created in a machshava dika way. Well, like it says, Bereishis bar and Targum Yenis says, b'chuchmasa. That means everything was created day one. Everything is created with chochma. Kulam b'chochma asisa. Ubevnifru to achakach b'tes maimaris. Then throughout the other 6 days of creation, then it became detailed. That's chochma downward. That's yesh mi'ayin. That already is yesh mi'ayin. Why? Ain't sa baruch hu, because ain't sa baruch hu, l'mayla aden ketz mechinas madreigas chochma. It's infinite. There's no levels there. It's infinite. Chochma is limited. That it's chochma. He says, "Chen kedei sheyesaves bechinas chochma." That's called yesh mi'ayin. So the Alter Rebbe is explaining that chochma, from higher than chochma, is yesh mi'ayin. From chochma downward, that's the level of ilo va'olo, cause and effect. So the first day Hashem created everything b'maymer echad, but there's a level of machshava achas. Hashem created worlds. There's olam machshava that Hashem creates with machshava. Just like by a person, there's machshava dibra ma'isa. Yeah? There is a world of thought within us. There's a world of speech and there's a world of action. Okay? If somebody in his thought thinks, I'm going to kill you, so it didn't happen, because this world is an action world. But in the world of machshava, you killed them. If somebody says, I'm going to kill you, in the world of Dibur, you did it. Famous story about Shem Tov, you heard it's on Yom Yom. Here he's going to rip him apart like a fish, and the Baal Shem Tov showed him a vision, and he's ripping him apart like a fish. Because in the world of speech, it happens. Huh? It's everything in a good way. If I think good about somebody, in the world of Machshava, it's good. Dibur, whatever it may be. So there's, It has yes, it has an effect.
It was proven in research.
I know, we don't need proven in research. It was already proven in Torah 3,500 years ago.
The secular woman scientist did it 3 years ago. She concluded that...
Moshe Rabbeinu said it 3,500 years ago, without going to university. Okay, skip the parentheses. V'zel Beidei Kadeshim, that's the level of Beidei Kadeshim. Who are Kadeshim? The neshamas that are in the body. Or Kadeshim b'chol yom yaluch hasela. Right? That's the neshamas that he said before. Every day. But over there, it's already b'chol yom. There's time and place. So the pasuk we say before that in davening, Beidei Kadeshim, meaning Shenesham Sha'alu b'machshava are called Kadeshim. Shechlolu Samnu Makedem come from Chachmila, which is called Kadesh. Like a band, Shemisavu say, who comes from the Mercha'ab. Neheim Bechinas B'riya Yesh Me'ayin, that's the level of Shimcha. Ata Kadesh Shimcha Kadesh, Ugadeshim B'chol Yom Alucha Sela. Who are they praising? He said before, the level of Shem, not Ata. V'zeu yishtabach shimcha, l'chein yardu v'nistavish b'gufa should say l'chaliyah. So he says, what's the whole inyan, why the neshama comes down into the world? So he explains the up super levels, and then he explains the way the neshama comes down when it's called the level of Shem, name, which connects the neshama with the gufa, Hashem, and the world. That level is Kadeshim Choyem Alucha Sela. And that's the purpose of the neshama coming down. And that's what, right after the kids, the Alter Rebbe is going to start saying. So what's the aliyah that happened higher than the Yerida? Kitzah, Kiberi Kadeshim Neshamis, which are Kadeshim Choyim Alucha Sela. Im Kolzeh, his avusim only comes from Shimcha, which is Ha'ara Ba'alma, which is considered like nothing, like a name of Adam, which is nothing compared to his essence. And like it says, Sham Sameis Ba'aretz, meaning desolate, but means don't mean it shameless. Same thing, Chachma Makav and Neshamis is Ayin Timatzei. And there you come, okay, so this is what we learned before. So now we have to understand, so what is the aliyah by the Neshama coming down? Because obviously he's going to explain, like he said before, that the elevation of the Neshama after comes down into this world, puts it in a level higher than it was before. So he says, Ach inyan in Dalit, and Gimel, I'm saying, page Membeis. Ach inyan aliyah mahu, what is this level of aliyah? Gam, the harvest we need to understand, the ikar kibul aschar, ubizman tchias amesim. The ultimate level of Kabbalah Schar, according to the Ramban, Chassidus, and Kabbalah, is by tchias amesim, like it says in Pirkei Avos. Da matin schoim shel tzadikim lasid lavei. Yeah? So the Alter Rebbe says, how do you know it means Tchis HaMesim? Maybe it means Gan Eden. He says, Im apir shal Gan Eden, why does it say La'asid Lavei? Gan Eden exists yeshin gam achshav l'neshamas b'tzeisim min haguf. There's a whole interesting thing. What is Olam Haba? You hear the Alter Rebbe says, generally speaking, the word Olam Haba, like he says in the Matan Schoim Shel Tzadikim La'asid Lavei. Now, lots of love means in the future. So the Alter Rebbe says the real future is Tchias HaMesim. It didn't happen now. Gan Eden is happening now. This is Gan Eden now. After Neshama leaves the body, it goes to Gan Eden, but it's now. So how do you answer that? I mean, the Alter Rebbe is talking about Tchias HaMesim, but the answer is, it means after the Neshama leaves the body, every person after the Neshama leaves the body goes to Gan Eden. So compared to the now, it's lost. What? Every person. Eventually. Some people burn in hell longer. Some people shorter, but eventually everybody gets there. He says, the Gan Eden ain't lefi shah, and also Gan Eden. He says like this, because that's the ikas chanes yes and shamas. But Gan Eden ain't lefi shah the tchiyah. Gan Eden is only temporarily until tchiyas hamesim. It's not permanent. But Gam zet tzarich lahavin. Also, we need to understand lama kibul schar ikri. Why is the primary schar for neshamis that will be in the guf dafka? We're saying that that's what Chassidus holds, right? Like the Ramban. The ultimate reward is a neshama in a body, not Gan Eden. That's why all the neshamas, it says the expression Chassidus, the Avis and Moshe Rabbeinu are waiting 3,000 years in Gan Eden for Tchias HaMesim. Which means Tchias HaMesim is even a greater Gilui than Gan Eden. If Gan Eden is greater, what do they want to come down for? They need Gan Eden. According to the Rambam Tak, it's only Gan Eden. Ultimate Schar is not Tchias HaMesim. So, but L'cheiro, number one, what is this Schar of Tchias HaMesim? And why is the primary schar only a neshama in a body? It should be a neshama out of a body. So he says, the Ein Sof Baruch Hu is Seviv Kol Almin and Mamala Kol Almin. The Zohar says that in Elokus there's what's called Seviv Kol Almin, the encompassing level. There's Mamala Kol Almin, the permeating level. Kine, what does it mean? Atzmusi is barech eine begeder hashpar klau. The essence of Hashem, you can't say he's maler kol almin or seviv kol almin. Hashem has nothing to do with worlds. It has nothing to do with hashpar. Even the level seviv kol almin, yes, granted, it doesn't permeate it, it encompasses it, it's above it, but it's still kol almin. It's still connected to worlds. Yeah, it's not like mamalo kalman, which is the mushal, is like food that you internalize, you digest it. Clothing you put around you, so it's not permeating you, it's encompassing you. But nevertheless, clothing have to fit you. It's not one size fits all. L'chein, pirush ard ein sof. I know what is ard ein sof. Hainu al chayas hamer v'nimshach mimani yisbarach lahachis ha'elemish, which is only zivad or levad. So here the Alter Rebbe said, we said many times, Erd Ein Sof, Chassidus can explain in two ways. Either the Erd is Ein Sof, the Erd is unlimited, or it's Erd of Ein Sof. Here the Alter Rebbe is explaining, what does Erd Ein Sof mean? It's Erd of Ein Sof, but it's not Ein Sof. It's not the Shemesh, it's only the ray of the sun. Like he says, K'mei Ziv or the Levad, like Ziv HaShemesh, Gabi HaShemesh. But that's only a Mashal Gashmi. Right? That's not realistic. Because, and he'll explain why. But the Mashal is, Fishat Smus, he is Baruch Mechaya Chayim. Hashem is the source of life, Bechal Kol Chayim, and gives life. Right? Bechal Kol Chayim Bechesed. Alkein, b'chinas eza gilui mimenu, any form of revelation from him gives life to the worlds. Al derech mashal, masha neshama machayis aguf. This that the neshama gives life to the body. Hachayis amlubish b'remachi vari aguf. The neshama that comes into the 248 limbs. Shein chayim min neshama, that live from the neshama, kerchariya ba'ayin, sight in the eye, listening from the ear. Ain't a chelik ma'atbis on neshama mamish. It's not the essence of the neshama. The essence of the neshama does not come in the eye to see, or into the ear to hear, or the mouth to talk. There's nothing. The essence of the neshama has nothing to do, not with the eye, not with the nose, not with nothing. A slight ray of the neshama comes into the eye to see, comes into the ear to hear.
So Prat is a ray of bloody?
Yeah. What do you think it is?
It has its own
Ela b'chinas gilui v'hara mi'aneshama. Ki lefi shi ba'atzma nishmas ruach chayim,
Right.
because in the
Individual.
But Klali can exist without God.
yeah, you can have a neshama klali. A person could be alive and be quiet.
Yes.
Is the Koyach HaDibur functioning? No. Chayis klali is existing.
He's not using it.
What?
It's functioning, but he's not using it.
That means it's not functioning, means in that realm it's not functioning, it's not there.
It doesn't mean it's not functional. It's
Has the
functional.
potential to be
The
fun.
potential to talk, but if you're not talking, you're not talking. That means the Koyach HaDibur is not functioning. At any moment you can function it.
It's functioning, but not at that moment.
So it's not functioning now.
Okay.
It's not in action. It's not used.
Okay, it's because the nefesh is called nishmas ruach chayim, therefore bislabshus b'guf, mechayes aguf, v'chayes that shaguf chay mimeno is like a order mimeno. It's not the atzmus of the neshama. But he says like this: Ella sheneshama mislabeshes al koponim atzmus gamkim b'teich aguf. But the essence of the neshama, to a certain level, is functioning in the body. Because if you don't have the essence, you don't have the koyach hadibor, koyach hadiyah, koyach hashmir. You don't have all the functionings.
How can they, but they're in two different realms. One is physical, one is spiritual, the other.
The neshama is spiritual.
Right.
Even when the neshama is functioning in the body, when the physical mouth says physical words, it's coming from a spiritual neshama.
Inspired.
When a person goes to the bathroom, the bracha sheyotzar ends, Baruch atah Hashem, reifei chol basar, Hashem heals all flesh, umafli lasis. He does wonders. Okay. So if you look in the commentaries of the Siddur, what does it mean, mafli lasis? What wonders does Hashem do when you go to the bathroom? The answer is the Pella, not only Nes means miracle. Pella is wonders, which is even above the level of miracles. Miracles can make sense. Niflois don't even make sense. Okay? That's why it says in davening, it's in Ptilim, right before Baruch Shem on Shabbos. La'eis in niflois gedailis levadai, ki le'elam chazli. So simply means he does great wonders himself, forever is his kindness. Chassidus explains la'eisei, that he comes into Asiya. Niflois gedailis, his great spiritual is levadai, only he could do it. Not la'eisei niflois gedailis, Hashem does great wonders. La'eisei, to be able to do, bring it down into action, is niflois gedailis, is tremendously great wonder. Levadi on Hashem could do. Ki la'olam simply means forever is his kindness. Chassidus says, ki la'olam, this, that there's a world.
Eternal.
How is a world coming from a finite, low world coming? Chavdei das chesed of Hashem. Olam chesed yibana.
The Olam Chazdo means that his kindness is eternal.
That's simply.
Oh, I see.
I said the simple meaning is his kindness is forever. In a deeper sense, it means ki la'olam, the mere fact that there's a world is chesed of Hashem. So what we were just saying. So when the neshama is functioning in the body, in order for the person to see whatever it is, has to come from the essence. L'chein mispa'eles b'atzmusa. Therefore, this neshama that's in the body, that he's saying, this neshama that's in the body functioning, is also mispa'eles mimikri aguf. But in the nimshul l'mayla by Hashem, Hashem has nothing to do with the body. Hashem has nothing to do with the world. In other words, like this: nefesh, ruach, and neshama, that part of the nefesh that functions in the body, because the nefesh is action, ruach hamidas, neshama is seichel, that is affected by the body. But benim shalamayla eina kain shenim mispal me'elam, it's Hashem is totally unaffected by worlds. V'atu shel achlei niv'ra'elam, atu mishin niv'ra'elam. We say right before that, before Haidu. You are there before the world. You are there now that there is a world, but it's the same ata, meaning it doesn't mean, again, simply it means, God, you were there before the world, and now you're there too. Okay. That's not what it means. Because I don't need anything to tell me that. It means ata, the same ata, the same you, the way you were you. Kaidem shenivra elam, ata is the same you, mishenivra elam, meaning world has absolutely no effect on you whatsoever. I'm glad you agree. Hakol b'ashva achas, like it says, Ani Hashem le'shenis. Why doesn't it change Hashem? Because change can only be in something that has a connection to it. It is totally disconnected. There's no change.
Billions and billions of stars.
Yeah.
And they're all Mesudar. There's a seder.
Right.
Meina mispa lakechavem. Look, you guys davened already today.
Right.
We didn't daven yet. But you said the word. I hope you said the words. Meina mispa lakechavem. It's a pasuk in Tehillim, by the way. Meina mispa lakechavem. Hashem counts numbers to the stars. Lochulam shemer tzikra, which means as many stars as there are, they're all limited. There's this exact amount of stars. Science is finding more stars. It doesn't mean now they became. They were always there. There's a finite amount of stars.
Rabbi, there are stars that are born constantly. There are stars that disappear constantly.
No, that's not what he
Yes,
said.
they do.
At the same time,
That's not the point.
at the same time,
What was that?
at
What?
the same time, he's asking us to connect with this.
Correct.
He is involved.
That's the greatness that Hashem gives us. That we doing one little tiny physical mitzvah in thought, speech, or action, if it's a mitzvah in thought, yeah, we connect to the essence.
So he is involved in keeping the whole.
No. Im chatasem atifalbei, v'rabo pshach matasali, im tzedakta metitinli, umam yad chayikach. Every 13-year-old Chabad kid knows it because he said in the Maimer. Im tzedakta, im chatasa, if you sin, what did you do to him? Im tzedakta, if you did good, matitinli. Nothing.
Rabbi, there are stars that we see the light, but they no longer exist. By the time the light came here, they were
How do you know
swallowed
they
by
don't exist?
black holes. There are stars that they are swallowed by black holes, reappear elsewhere or something.
Oh.
It's not the same stars, Rabbi. It's
How do you know?
Totally different part.
One minute,
of
how
the
do you
galaxy.
know? You were
We
there?
are totally different part of the galaxy.
What?
You ever hear maybe they went by train?
What?
Maybe they went by plane from one star galaxy